Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's ham sandwich session on Communicator 5. It's the last of our 5-day series. And today we're going to talk about environmental control. I'm going to walk through a little bit about what environmental control is, how you may use it with an AAC device, and how then we implement that with Communicator 5. We'll also look at maybe some people don't have environmental control systems. It's something they're thinking of doing. It's something they're thinking of integrating with their AAC device. But there might be simple things to get you up and running, maybe using a smart speaker like Amazon Echo or a Google Home. So we'll have a quick look at that as well today. I suppose the first thing is for people that do not know what environmental control is. Look, this is a definition. An environmental control system is a system of electronic assistive technology which enables people with significant disabilities to independently access equipment in their environment, e.g. home or hospital, which is a convoluted way of saying a piece of technology that makes it easier for you to live within your environment, your home, shall we say. So a piece of technology that may make it easier for you to turn on and off the television, or to open and close a window or a door or something like that. So a piece of technology that makes it easier for you to live that bit more independently within your home. So what can you control in your environment? Pretty much anything these days. And this technology is getting more advanced and sophisticated, by the week nearly at this stage. So we're always seeing new smart technology products come into the market. So you can control your lights, you can control your music, your TVs, intercom systems, your nurse call system, sending alerts, opening and closing doors or windows, etc. And then look, we can adapt those systems then, or you can adapt those systems to be controlled via the different access methods. So whether you're an eye gaze user, whether you're a touch user, whether you're a switch, joystick, there's ways of integrating that for you to control the home a bit easier. There are different types, different systems use different frequencies. The most popular one is infrared. It's inbuilt into a lot of the AAC devices, and it's probably what we'll talk most about today. There are other frequencies. Some use a combination of others. If you need long distance control, control doors that you're not in that room, etc., that are in different parts of the house or something like that, you may need to use a different frequency. But infrared, when working with AAC devices, is probably the most reliable and the most frequently used. So again, we talked about the different access methods and how important they are when choosing your system. But today we are looking at AAC devices. So some communication devices have environmental control built into them. So here are 3 devices from Tobii Dynavox which would have Communicator 5 on them, which is the i-Series, which is an eye gaze device. We have the Indy 7, which is the one in the middle, which is a handheld touch device. And then we have the i110, which again is a touch device, but also has switch input, so it would be a multi-access device. So all 3 of them have environmental control built into them. So you can start programming in remote controls for TVs or for radios or whatever it may be without having to add anything extra. If you are using maybe not one of those devices, if you're using maybe a laptop or a Windows computer or tablet or something like that, you may need to add an additional piece of hardware to send those signals. So those, if you wanted to send a signal to the TV, your laptop may not have that built in. So you may need to add an additional sender. So there's a few different ones. There's one from Tobii Dynavox that'll do the IR, that'll send those signals for you. If you needed radio frequency, you may need one of the other devices. But again, if you need some advice or help around those kind of things, just get in touch and we'll be happy to advise. So as I said, look, if you have a device with infrared built into it, then to program it, simply all you need is the remote control you want to program in. So if, for example, here we have a picture of a Sky remote. If you wanted your software to now become your Sky remote, because that's the easiest way to access it, all we need is that remote to program it in, and then the device will send the signals for you. So I'll show you in a few minutes how we're going to do that. So traditionally, things that you would not need any extra hardware for would be things like televisions, satellite boxes, radios, because they all come with remote controls, and we just take those signals and we learn them into the system. If you wanted to control things like lights or lamps or door motors, intercoms, you may need a bit of extra hardware. The software mightn't be, your communication device and the software may not be enough to control it. So you may need to add a few extra pieces. So again, look, our most popular one here would be the one in the top left box. It's an infrared receiver. It's got an input output in it. So we'd connect that to a door motor, and when you send a signal from your whether it's your i110 or your iSeries, that'll pick up the signal and open the door for you. So we use different sensors for different things. Again, look, it's probably something that if you had something in mind, you might need a little bit of advice with, but again, we're happy to do so. So look, if you were doing, that full, I have iGate system up here, but that's not a picture of an iGate system. If you were using your AAC device to control your home, look, the way it would be is that you take your device with your software. The software on this one is Communicator 5. You can control anything in the home, as we kind of talked about earlier, whether it's, lights or intercom or entertainment. And then you just add whichever receiver is appropriate and it controls it. So the user themselves wouldn't know any different to, what receivers are attached to what. They would just use their software in whatever way we set it up, and then they can control anything from their home. So that's a brief overview of how you may use environmental control with your AAC device. Sometimes you don't need any receivers. As I said, if you just want to control your TV or your radio or something like that, just your software and your device and you're good to go. Whereas sometimes if you want to do a little bit more, like controlling the doors or the windows, you may need a little bit of extra hardware. So what I'll do is I'll show you now within Communicator 5 where we would find these features. So let me just come out of this. And we'll open up Communicator 5. So again, this is the home page we've been working on most of the week. So I've just added some of the pages to the front here about our remote controls. To find these, again, I go into my advanced settings. So I'm right-clicking on the mouse. If I'm on a touch device, I'm keeping my finger on the screen, or if I've got a keyboard, I can press Control and M. So to find these pages that are pre-made, I can go to Edit Homepage. I'll click Add Page Sets here at the top. I'm going to go into Text Communication, and I'm going to scroll down to IR remote controls. So these are just page sets that are already created. It's just a layout. We still have to learn in the codes for them. So I've added a few, say if you did have an Apple TV, for example, I could click that, have a look at it. This is what the page will look like when I add it. And if I wanted to add that to my home screen, I just click up here, add to home page, and that'll be there as well. So I've just taken a sample of some of the different ones that are already pre-made for you in Communicator 5. You can create your own from scratch if that's something you want to do. I'll show you one or two that we've done. And then you're good to go. So here are some of the ones we've done. So let's take the TV, for example. This is a full remote control for a TV. Because I'm using a computer here today, I'll see if I have a minute or two at the end. I'll switch over to a device that has infrared built in. But what you would do is every box that has a red square around it means that we have not learnt in the code for that button. So what I would do is I would press number 3. It would say there's no matching IR command found. Do you want to add one? When I click yes, all it'll do is, like, I can take if you're looking at my camera here, I'll take my TV remote and I just press the number 3 because I've picked number 3 button here that I want to correspond. I just press number 3 on my remote control. I point that towards my device, and then that just captures the code, and then that's learnt into the device. So click no here. So that means that when I press number 3 now on my software, it'll press number 3 on my TV. So what we do is that in your initial setup, you replace all of these buttons with the commands from your remote control. So it takes a few minutes. You just need your remote control, and you just point the remote control at your device, and it learns these codes for you. And then you can put the remote control away, and your software then will start to send all those commands for you. I hope that makes sense, but feel free to ask any questions there if you want me to go back over that. So it's pretty straightforward to learn the codes in. So that may be your TV. If I go into home, we have doors, open and close the doors. You may have different doors in the house. Beds, you want to put the bed head up and down. You might want to adjust the feet. So you may have a motorized chair that you want to, a reclining chair or something like that in the house that you want to control. So all of these things can be done through the software. So if somebody is using the software for communication, and they do need those experts, it's good to keep everything in one place rather than having to, open up a different program or to have different types of remote control. We can program everything in here to do so. There are I've only added actually the full remote controls. As I can see, you may have somebody that maybe they might be too many buttons there. So if I go back to page sets, text communication, down to IR remote controls, we can see there's simple and full. I actually only added the full one, so I'll add the simple one here, add to home page, and I go to the simple TV remote, and that has a lot less buttons. So you might have somebody that has their needs or their ability to use these buttons maybe a lot more reduced. So you may have simpler pages for them to use. You can, as I said, you can create your own pages and learn in the codes, as we can see here in my kind of if I have this as my home page and my simple Communicator 5, or the person has access to YouTube and WhatsApp and stuff, I may do the TV remote like this. So my buttons are nice and big and bright. They're in different colors. So if I don't, if the templates aren't going to work for the person I'm working with, I can, edit them, create them, change the colors. And again, I can just learn in my commands for my channel up, my channel down, my volume. Whereas maybe somebody here, this may be somebody, maybe an adult who needs a bit more functionality within their home. You can see we've created a different type of environmental control page that now when I go into TV, we can see I have my favorite channel. So when I press RTE here, that'll press 3 buttons automatically for me. It'll press 101 on my Sky remote. So I don't have to go in here and go 101. I can set up kind of favorites and combine codes together. So again, you can edit these pages to suit, and you can make it a lot more, easier and user-friendly for people, that they don't have to, press as many buttons. We can create favorites. And then, you can have different doors and windows, etc., as we've already discussed. So yeah, that's how we would edit the setup, and how you may create different pages for different people that you're working with. You can make it as simple or as complex as you want. You can set up what we call our macros, or like programs to happen within the system, i.e. when I enter a room and I press room on, that might turn the lights on, turn the TV on, and open the curtains. You can make it very simplified for people, that they may only have one button on the screen rather than having to press lots of different functions. So hopefully that gives you kind of a brief explanation of the environmental control system. But a lot of people now may have smart speakers. So we've seen a lot of people use them now for environmental control, to listen to their music, to listen to a book, or to you can buy smart bulbs on Amazon for €20 and link it with your Amazon Echo to turn on and off the lights, which is really good. But obviously an Amazon Echo or a Google Home is only accessible via voice. So we're generally, when we provide a communication software, it's because somebody may have difficulty communicating. But we can use the software then to kind of assist with help with those smart speakers. So if I go into, say, my phrases, I can create a category for my smart speaker. So I've created one here called Amazon. When I click on it, I only have 2 phrases in here, but
Alexa, turn on lights. Alexa, turn up heating.
So our communication software is now sending the command to our smart speaker to activate those functions. And very simple to add more. So I can just click on edit here. I'm going to add a new phrase. I just have to make sure I put in Alexa. If it was Google Home, I instead of Alexa, I would have OK Google and then my command. And just trying to remember to say for Google. So I could have Alexa play my music, and I just confirm down here. And now I have that command. So anytime I want Alexa to play my music, I can click that. I'll add another one, and I can say, Alexa, play Taylor Swift, and I'll press confirm, and I will stop editing. And now I have, anytime I want to listen to Taylor Swift or I want to listen to my music,
Alexa, play Taylor Swift.
And I can create those. You will find there are some. If I bring over here, if you go to My Toby Dynavox, which we spoke about at the start of the week, there's a section called Page Set Central. This is where people who may have created pages for Communicator 5 or Snapcore First, they'll upload it here, so you can download them basically for your system. So if I link it to Communicator 5 and I type Amazon, for example, it'll load any pages that people have created. Some of these are in different languages, so I'll filter to English. So I can see that people have done here an Amazon Echo 6x5 and symbols. So somebody has created those phrases for an Amazon Echo with symbols, and somebody here has done the text phrases as well. So you can download them and upload them directly into Communicator 5. So somebody may have already done the work for you in terms of editing. That's probably the easiest place to find them, would be Page Set Central for Communicator 5. Snapcore First has a few of them built in, so you'll see there's an Alexa page here in the dashboard. When I go in, they've created a lot of phrases for you, so there's a few more in the default there, but on Communicator 5 you can either download them from Page Set Central, or you can create your own. Generally people end up kind of creating their own because they have their own things that they want to use their smart speaker for, whether they use it as an intercom, whether they use it to listen to music or as reminders, or to find out the daily news. They can be a very kind of useful addition to use with your communication software, and sometimes they work out the cheapest way to do it as well. So that was kind of generally what I was going to talk about for environmental control today. As I said, it's pretty straightforward to get up and running. A lot of the devices, especially from Toby Dynavox, will have environmental control built into them. So it's just a matter of you picking the page set and then taking a remote control and start sending the signals to your device, and then it captures it, and you're ready to get up and running. And then sometimes you can combine that then with your smart speaker, whether it's an Amazon Echo or a Google Home, and you'll be up and running and controlling your house or environment in no time. So that's pretty much it for today and for the ham sandwich series.